within acupuncture, there are actually many different angles, right? So to me specifically, I do what are called channel treatments, and then I do what's acupuncture sports medicine type treatments. So I'm actually going right into the muscles and into the joints and affecting them in a really kind of specific way that actually a lot of Western doctors would understand. I would say that the really beauty of acupuncture in general is that the number one thing that it does is it helps to decrease people's stress. It regulates the nervous system. And so as their system gets regulated, they're much better able to sleep. They're better able to manage their pain. And basically the volume on their suffering gets turned down. So that's one of many aspects of people managing chronic pain that I think is so essential. One thing that I really love about treating patients at BHC is that I am allowed the time to actually talk with them. So I treat two patients an hour, but on their first visit, I really have time to get to know them. And one thing that I can do is really answer a lot of their questions. Because I'm seeing patients repeatedly every week, I actually get to really know them and understand what's going on in their lives. And some people it's just straightforward, get on the table, we're going to do some needles for you, but other people I kind of hear what's going on behind the surface. And that makes me more able to find out what they really need, and talk to their care providers and say, hey, I'm observing, this thing over here. This person might need more support in this way. And so I'm always really listening to the patients and really kind of trying to take into account, I do a holistic medicine, right? So I'm looking at every aspect of what's going on with them and thinking about that as I'm treating them. So for them, me being able to answer their questions about like, what does this MRI mean? What does this X-ray mean? The doctor told me that, my legs are hurting because of my back, and I don't know why. Why do they keep saying that? I have the time to explain that to them. And when I do, it alleviates so much stress and anxiety because they don't know what we know. And they're in there just kind of like feeling pushed around by everybody, and nobody's really, maybe it was explained to them, but maybe they couldn't hear it in that way, whatever it is. And so I'm super grateful that I have the time to do that because taking that stress down is just so important in their pain management process. So I'm able to look at the whole body and really treat the other aspects that are contributing to this with acupuncture, because that's really how it works. So yes, I can focus on their main issue, but I can also look at what's going on around it. And I think that that's something special that acupuncturists can do. Chronic pain is extremely pervasive. It is 1 in 4 people that deal with some kind of chronic pain condition in the United States and probably throughout the world. So this is people this is people you don't know that you don't know that they're dealing with the pain. It's not always obvious to look at them. This is a huge social problem. It affects, sure, the economy, it affects people's relationships. And so managing chronic pain effectively really is a way to change society. I mean, quite frankly, like it's so pervasive and so important. So I think that a lot of the suffering is unnecessary, right? There are things that we can do to change people's perception of pain, to change the way they experience, to change how much they experience. And they just need the education and the knowledge and the treatments to do that. So if we can provide that in any way, and we can slowly kind of take the lid off of that jar and let the steam out for those patients, then I think that we need to do that. And so we have a responsibility to bring all the information as providers that we know, that we've learned from patients. I learn a ton from patients themselves, right? I know what works and what doesn't work because I listen to them.